Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week, and I told you guys we'll be with you guys through the holiday. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up today. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and today, in an entertainment spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with recording artist Madelyn Mandry. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In national news, the Mississippi State Department of Health reported 2,326 new COVID-19 cases in Mississippi and 24 additional deaths on Thursday. There have now been in Mississippi 202,651 COVID-19 cases and 4,556 coronavirus-related deaths in the state since March. In a related story, dark days in this holiday season, experts fear the holidays will fuel the U.S. crisis. Hard-hit California eclipsed 2 million coronavirus cases on Christmas Eve as the United States headed into a holiday season of travel and family gatherings that threatened to fuel the deadly outbreak across the nation. Despite warnings from public health experts to stay home, over 1.19 million travelers passed through U.S. airport security checkpoints on Wednesday, down by about 40% from a year ago, but the highest one-day total since the crisis took hold in the United States in mid-March. Airports also recorded 1 million travelers on each of the 5 days between last Friday and Tuesday. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the government's top infectious disease expert, said he is particularly worried about travel between Christmas and New Year's. Fauci, who turned 80 on Thursday, said he and his wife will be celebrating his birthday and the holidays with their family on Zoom. "We have a big problem," Fauci told the Washington Post on Thursday. "Look at the numbers. The numbers are really quite dramatic. The virus has now taken in the United States 327,000 lives, with over 3,000 deaths per day repeatedly recorded over the past 2 weeks. In more national news, GOP blocks $2,000 checks as Trump leaves COVID aid in chaos. President Donald Trump's sudden demand for $2,000 checks for most Americans was swiftly rejected by House Republicans on Thursday as his haphazard actions throw a massive COVID relief and government funding bill into chaos. The rare Christmas Eve session of the House lasted just minutes, with help from millions of Americans awaiting Trump's signature on the bill. Unemployment benefits, eviction protections, and other emergency aid, including smaller $600 checks, are at risk. Trump's refusal of the $900 billion package, which is linked to $1.4 trillion government funds bill, could spark a federal shutdown at midnight on Monday. "We're not going to let the government shut down, nor are we going to let the American people down," said Steny Hoyer, the majority leader in the House of Representatives. The optics appear terrible for Republicans and the outgoing president as the nation suffers through the worst holiday season many can remember. Families are isolated under COVID precautions, and millions of American households are devastated without adequate income, food, or shelter. The Associated Press says Trump is ending his presidency much the way he started it, sowing confusion and reversing promises, all while contesting the election and courting a federal shutdown over demands his own party in Congress will not meet. The congressional Republican leaders have been left almost speechless by Trump's year-end scorching of their work. In more national news, protesters call for justice in police killing of Andre Hill. Demonstrators gathered in a cold Christmas Eve drizzle Thursday to call for justice in the death of Andre Hill, a black man who was shot and killed by a Columbus police officer this week. Chants of "Whose Street? Our Street" rang out from the small crowd that gathered near the home that Hill 47 was visiting when he was shot early Tuesday. Some waved Black Lives Matter flags. Video showed Hill emerging from a garage and holding up a cell phone in his left hand seconds before he was fatally shot by an officer identified as Adam Coy. About 6 seconds pass between the time Hill is visible in the video and when the officer fires his weapon. There is no audio because the officer hadn't activated the body camera. An automatic look-back feature captured the shooting without audio. Thursday is joining a string of recent protests in Ohio's capital against police-involved shootings of black men. Groups also protested Sunday and Wednesday over the killing of 23-year-old Casey Goodson Jr. by a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy. He was shot December the 4th as he entered his grandmother's house in Columbus. Both shootings remain under investigation. And finally, in entertainment news, although 2020 was an empty year with little to no films, there are plenty of DC films releasing after Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman is set to release today on HBO Max. It's the dawn of a new age for Warner Brothers, a studio that plans to release all of its 2021 movies on the streaming service, which has caused quite an uproar. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Sit with your sadness. I know the last thing anyone wants to hear when going through a period of great sadness is, you will learn something from this. Or, look at the bright side. In the midst of a tremendously painful situation, you really don't care about the bright side because the overwhelming feeling of pain you are feeling is too exhausting to even begin an examination of what is happening. You feel disappointed, angry, fearful, picked on by life, and let down by God. Sitting with sadness takes the courage to believe you can bear the pain and the faith to know you will come out on the other side. Courage and faith will allow you permission to grieve and walk through your sadness. After you sit with your sadness and experience it, understand the powerful teaching tool sadness has to offer. Now you can choose to surrender and accept the change you are going through. Today, feel your own sadness while you have compassion for others experiencing the same thing. And remember, enjoy your day.
In today's Entertainment Spotlight, you're being part of my conversation with recording artist Madelyn Mandry, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Recording artist Madelyn Mandry stopped by Conversations Live this year to talk to us about her musical journey and her new project. Here's a bit of our conversation. Talk to us about the title project, Midnight to Morning, Madelyn. I mean, how did you come up with the idea for the title?
So, in the song, rumor has it, it says, midnight to morning, learning to love me. And that's one of the lyrics of that song. And it was really just, I looked at all the songs and I was like, what have I taken away from all of this? And it was a lot of life lessons, but more than that, it's learning how to love yourself and take care of yourself through the process of growing up. And I think that it's something that I really took away from it and something that I grew in a lot during high school, and how to be confident in who I am and just really go after the things that I desire and hope to do in the future.
And I think that has to be a great feeling, too. You know, Madelyn, one of the things I love talking to our guests about is overcoming fear, because it's not an easy thing to do what you do. I mean, people look at you and they'll say, well, I want to do that. I want to play the guitar. I want to sing. I want to, have an album, for the world to listen to. But they're not always willing to do the work. Have you always known that if you wanted to reach these different goals, that it was going to take work?
Yeah, I realized along the way that nothing's impossible. You just have to work hard for it and stay with it. And it's funny because I used to be super scared and just filled with fear, and I wouldn't perform anywhere. I would cry before performances. And then it really took a lot to get out of that comfort zone and put myself out there enough to push past the fear and go for those things.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on Monday to begin a new week and to say goodbye to 2020 next week. Hope you guys will be with us. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.